Hello, everyone. Welcome to Whispers by the Huan River. Today, we're going to share a story called Xian Turning Back the Qin Army. This story is recorded in a session called The 33rd Year of Duke Xi from the Zuo Commentary. The story took place over 2,600 years ago, in 627 BC. At that time, China was in the spring and autumn period, an era where numerous vassal states coexisted. The state of Qin, located in the west, was experiencing a rise in national power and was eager to expand eastward. Meanwhile, in the heart of the Central Plains, there was an economically prosperous but territorially modest state called Zheng. That year, Duke Mu of Qin set his sights on Zheng. He made a highly bold and risky decision to dispatch a massive army to march over 1,000 li to launch a long-distance surprise attack. Qin dispatched 3 top generals, including Meng Mingshi, who quietly set off with their war chariots and troops. Concealing their movements along the way and braving the elements, they finally arrived at a small state called Hua. From here, they were only a few days' march away from their ultimate target. At this point, everyone in the state of Zheng, from the ruler to the common citizens, was completely unaware of the looming catastrophe that threatened to destroy their country. But at this critical juncture of life and death, the advancing Qin army ran right into an ordinary merchant from Zheng on the road. His name was Xian Gao. Xian Gao was driving a herd of cattle, heading to the Zhou Kingdom to do business. On his way, he unexpectedly ran right into the fully armed Qin army, marching amidst clouds of swirling dust. Having traveled far and wide, Xian Gao was a man of great experience and vision. The moment he saw the direction of the Qin army's march and the elite momentum of their troops, his heart skipped a beat. He thought to himself, "They're definitely not just passing through. They're on their way to launch a surprise attack on my motherland Zheng." Thinking quickly on his feet, Xian Gao decided to stall the Qin army while sending his companion rushing back to Zheng to sound the alarm. He took the initiative to request an audience with Meng Mingshi. As an opening gesture, he first presented 4 dressed ox hides as a meeting gift. Then he led forward the 12 head of cattle he had brought with him, claiming he wished to feast the Qin troops. Facing the utterly bewildered Meng Mingshi, Xian Gao said with complete composure, "General, the ruler of our state of Zheng heard that you and your valiant troops would be passing through our territory. Keeping you all close to his heart, he specially sent me as an envoy to travel this great distance and express his deep appreciation to everyone." Next, putting on the grand manner of a formal envoy, Xian Gao delivered a masterful piece of diplomatic rhetoric with perfect poise, neither subservient nor arrogant. 不舔必义，为从者之焉。居则据一日之机，行则备一夕之位。 The meaning of his words was this: "Although our state is small, we have made due preparations for your retinue's stay here. If you intend to stay in Zheng for an extended period, we will provide you with a full day's worth of provisions for each day you remain. If you are merely passing through, we have also arranged overnight security and escort services. Please march onward without concern, General." Hearing this, Meng Mingshi started second-guessing the plan. The key to a surprise attack lies in taking the enemy unawares. Yet now, while the army was still several days' march away from Zheng, an envoy from the state had already intercepted them on the road to present gifts and reward the troops. Furthermore, he repeatedly claimed, "Our ruler knew long ago that you were coming, and both our logistics and military are fully prepared." The Qin commanders turned it over in their minds and panicked. "Oh no, our military intelligence must have been leaked. The state of Zheng is clearly fully prepared and on high alert. Launching a frontal assault against a nation that's ready for us offers far too slim a chance of victory." While the Qin army was wavering in indecision, the companion whom Xian had sent to sound the alarm had already taken back roads, riding at a breakneck pace, and rushed back to Zheng. When the Duke Mu of Zheng received the message, he too broke out into a cold sweat. Following the clues to investigate the capital, he discovered exactly what he feared. Several Qin spies, who had lived in Zheng for years, had already bundled up their baggage, fed their horses, and sharpened their weapons, preparing to cooperate with the invading army from the inside. Making a prompt decision, Duke Mu of Zheng expelled them and swiftly placed the country on maximum alert. Before long, the Qin scouts returned to report that Zheng was indeed on high alert throughout the entire city. Meng Mingshi let out a long sigh. "Zheng is prepared. A surprise attack is no longer possible. We have no choice but to turn back." Out of sheer frustration and unwillingness to return empty-handed, the Qin army destroyed the small state of Hua right then and there, and then hastily retreated. However, on their journey home, they fell into an ambush laid by the state of Jin, and their entire army was completely wiped out. History turns on the smallest of hinges. Without commanding a single soldier, Xian successfully rewrote the fate of his nation through sheer, unalterated nerve. That is the end of our story today. Thank you for listening to Whispers by the Huan River. See you next time.